What's up, guys? I'm Tommy, and this is Alex to my left. Today we're here with senior outfielder Maddie Polonsky, and she will be going to Alvernia next year. Well, she will be playing softball and being a student athlete. With that being said, Maddie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, last year you guys had a record of 8-10. The record does not show what type of team you guys were last year. Played some really good teams. What are your expectations for this year?
I mean, for this year, we definitely lost a couple key players from last year. None of them ended up being student athletes in college for this year, but we have a really good lineup for this year. A fair amount of people playing in college, Division II, Division III, and I'm really excited to get started. So.
Yeah, talking about those players, Avery Schwartz at second, and then Riley, who was in the outfield. Who do you have coming in, taking their spots this year?
As of right now, I am in center field, taking the place for Riley, and then at second base we have Madison Krapewski right now.
Awesome.
We have people moving around a little bit, but we're just kind of getting the feel of things,
For sure.
figuring out where people's starting spots are going to be.
So after playing 2 games of districts last year, tons of injuries in that game against North Penn, what was the team's culture heading into that game against the number 1 team, North Penn, with all those injuries?
I mean, it's definitely it's somewhat annoying to have that playing that team second round districts. It's not we didn't have the best of luck getting that team, but I mean, we kind of just went into the game wanting to have fun, knowing what the outcome was going to be. So we kind of, not much to say about that one.
And you guys scrimmaged them this year, right? Did that go any better?
Yes, it actually did. It went a lot better. They lost a couple key players as well, and they didn't really reboot as much as they usually do. So the score ended up being 5-3. It was still a loss, but we definitely had a good game.
Yeah.
It's not bad for the start. Last year, the big pack game was you guys, Springford, you guys, and OJR. Who's that team that you guys are really looking forward to playing this year?
Boyertown, definitely, 100%. Springford, too. All of these teams have lost a bunch of players, so I feel like the playing field is definitely leveled out a lot more.
Sure.
Here at Springford, or when the Springford came down here last year, I think it was a Friday, it was a really good game. You guys were down, and you ended up coming back. How does that work when, you got a smaller field? It's easier to hit it out of the park. Are you guys always in the game?
We're definitely always in the game. A lot of pep talks, a lot of team huddles throughout, in between innings and stuff. That's really what keeps us going. Captains are definitely a big part of that as well, staying on top of the girls, making sure we're all staying positive and making sure that we're amped up and ready to go.
Who are the captains?
Me and Courtney.
Okay.
Nice. Being a senior this year, this will be your 4th year playing. Do you have a favorite memory that you can tell us?
Oh. Definitely team bus rides. We do a lot of singing and stuff, so it's pretty fun. Pre-game's really good as well, just getting everybody fired up, listening to pre-game music playlists and all of that. So,
Sure.
Coach Terry being there for the past 2 years, and then Coach Chapman along his side, what did they bring as coaches?
They definitely bring a lot of positivity. We also have Coach Pitch, who's the assistant varsity coach as well. They all bring a lot of positivity. Keeping us into the game, always. They're just always helping out in any way that they can.
Yeah. Building from last year to this year, what is something you guys have really just been working on as a team, trying to hit that and be better this year?
I think the mental piece is what is the most important, and that's what people struggle with the most. I have a feeling. People like to get really down on themselves, if they strike out, swing at the wrong pitch, this and that. So captains are really trying to keep people positive and go into the next pitch, that there always is going to be another at-bat, another ball coming at you, and you just got to be ready for it.
How were the winter workouts for you guys? What did you guys do?
They were good. Gyms are always a little complicated for spring sports getting started, but we've been in the wrestling gym, pulling the net down, getting some reps, hitting, stuff like that. In the main gym, doing some fielding plays, just drilling and getting ready for the season.
Yeah. With the season, what are the goals this year? Win packs, win districts?
Yeah, definitely packs. That's a big goal that we have. We talk about it all the time. So
Is that Springford this year?
Should be, yeah. As long as everything doesn't get switched around.
No, is it at Springford this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's trying to think.
So looking at your schedule, the team has a game on the night of Mini-thon. How when you saw that, how did you guys, kind of deal with that?
We haven't really completely figured it out yet. We're looking to reschedule, trying to fit everything in, but we're kind of playing it by ear as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
JV field hasn't been playing well for you guys. It's been flooding. What you guys been doing with JV and varsity? Are you guys together right now, or are you guys? How's that working?
We're actually still split. They've been practicing in the outfield, and I think the people are like dragging the field like multiple times a day to try and figure that out. But
it's still going.
They played on it yesterday.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
They won 14-2. So
A lot of quick dry out there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, and about JV, they've been really good over the past couple of years. Has it translated into them coming up to varsity?
Yeah, definitely 100%. We have a couple swing players who play some games JV, some games varsity. Kind of depends on the team that we're going to be playing against that day.
Any underclassmen you want to shout out?
Regan O'Donnell, she's one of our best swing players. Caitlin Pettin is also a good catcher that we have who is a freshman this year. I see a lot of potential from her. So
Related to Mia there?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Mia's going to Westchester for softball. So let's see, what do we got? Anything?
Mia's over there on third base, right? So she started last year. What kind of competitiveness does she bring?
A lot of competitiveness. Her mentality is up there. She's going Division II at Westchester, so it says a lot. She has a strong bat. She's always in the game, cheering people on. Like, I couldn't ask for more from her.
And what about that energy on the bench? You see it up at the baseball games all the time. You guys trying to stay excited through maybe what is a longer game or a more boring game. How does that work in your dugout?
It definitely gets a little hard. Like, the longer the game, the more tired people get. Like, that's just kind of how every game works. But that's just what the captains have to do for the rest of the team. They got to keep people amped up and cheering. Like, the quieter it gets, it helps the other pitcher focus more. So, like, I feel like the louder that you can throw her off as well.
And then those night games, how does that differ? Because we don't have lights here at our softball fields. How does that differ? Do you play any this year?
Yes, we have two. We have Boyertown. Actually, we have three. Boyertown, OJR, and Springford this year. It's just a whole different level of like enthusiasm. Everyone's just so ready to go, and I don't know if it has to do with like it just being dark out or what. But
do the lights ever get in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. Mm-hmm. It's not like a huge adjustment that you have to make, but everyone just thinks it's a good time. So.
Me being a baseball player, watching softball, there's a lot of swinging and running at the same time, try to drag it out to third base. How does that really play? Is that part of your game?
Yes, yeah. I'm left-handed, so I slap. Okay. It's like a huge advantage that you have, especially if you're fast and being on the left-hand side, you have a couple extra steps that you don't have to make up. So it's definitely a huge advantage, and other teams get thrown off by it. Yeah, so
for sure, if you have the speed, that's a great play.
Yeah.
What about the smaller field? How does that play?
A lot more home runs.
Yeah.
We're short by like 15 feet, so it's kind of a disadvantage on our side. But it's something that like other teams do have to get used to because they see that they want to hit a home run, but that can also mess with them mentally, and they'll just be thinking home run, and then they'll end up whiffing a ball and striking out. So
JV field and varsity are back to back. Do balls ever fly and hit the outfielders?
They've never hit the outfielder, but they've definitely gone into the JV field.
Just what's the rotation for you guys this year, pitching wise?
Pitching wise, we have Courtney. She's our primary. She's awesome. I have like my confidence in her is 100% all the time. She did great yesterday. We also have Lindsay, who is a junior. She'll come up. She's also a swing player, so she'll come up as well. But we're looking to have Courtney throw most, if not all, games.
My goodness.
So in baseball, there's a pitch limit, 100 per game. In softball, is there any pitch limits on the pitchers?
Depends on the injuries. Usually no, because you won't be throwing a crazy amount per game, like average 60 to 80. Okay. So usually not.
And then with Courtney being the ace, can she go multiple times a week?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll really help. What about, you talked about you guys in a slump at sometimes. That's one of the toughest parts of baseball and softball. How do you guys get out of it? Do you have a method? What about you yourself?
It's really about just like honestly talking to yourself and just figuring out like where you need to improve. And like if we're all not hitting and like all in a slump at that moment, I would just pull everyone together and be like, you know what, we got to get this together.
Positivity.
Like we got to see, just being positive.
That's great. You being the senior you are, they're going to need you to really lead the team this year.
I got nothing else. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.